Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Students for Innovation Student-Led Virtual Summit. Today, we have another amazing presentation. Just for your reference, Students for Innovation is an initiative focused on advocating for innovation in the classroom through presentations, trainings, and resources. We've worked in a national level with organizations like NICEGate, Tech and Learning, National AI Literacy Day, to help students advocate for educational change in the classroom. We want to thank School AI for sponsoring the summit, as well as Alana Winnick for supporting us throughout the mentorship process. It's been amazing to get support from other adults and other students in this process, and we are extremely grateful. Now, we can introduce our speakers for today. Today, we'll have Quest Academy Junior High speaking about how the future is student-owned and personalized learning in action. So Quest Academy, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the amazing introduction. That was absolutely unbelievable. Very, very happy. Again, thank you for this amazing moment. I'm Carson, and we made this short little presentation about the day in the life of a Quest student here with me and my other good old speakers. So we call this Voice, the future is student-owned, personalized learning in action at Quest Junior High. And this is in the good old state of Utah, straight from West Haven. All right, so the culture and joy alongside with ownership. So the moment you arrive, so the moment before you even enter through the front doors of this amazing, amazing school, you're greeted with lots of music, dancing, and a lot of joy. It's almost like a celebration. With the vibe, you can almost think about it as if you were going to a very stressful football game and you come to school the next morning and not only did you win, but you're the MVP that just led your team to victory. So that energy and that vibe, that's exactly what we see almost all the time when you walk into school on every amazing, amazing occasion. Once you get through, what a lot of people have mentioned is like a short parade. Once you finally get through the front entrance, there's a quote on the wall. And it's in big letters, it's right in the front. It says, every student, every day, whatever it takes. And it's our amazing principal, Miss Law's motto. And what it means is just straight from the motto, the teacher, when it comes to Quest, every student, every day, whatever it takes. It's basically exactly like that. The teacher's mindset is, I don't know what they're gonna understand the first try. Maybe there's someone that just gets it immediately. Maybe there's someone that's just on edge and doesn't understand it like exactly the same way that everyone else does. So every student, every day, whatever it takes, they're willing to put in the effort so that every student, no matter if they need extra practice or if they just need to fly by through classes because they understand it simply or just easier for them, they get the help they need. And just overall, the day just starts with big smiles, lots of energy, and a huge sense of belonging. And Miss Law and the teachers are, we're just trying to bring it in as if it's one team that inspires and it challenges on others so that we can support each other through the process of mastery. All right, so that was a video of basically what you see every single Friday from the moment you walk in through the doors. There's nothing to it. You see all of the energy, everyone's having fun. You can relate it to a concert, a short mini concert. But moving on, we got our good old student prep. So traditional schools, they usually seem to have like a homeroom where they just go into just a classroom where they get the start of the day. We call it student prep. We want to make it a little more engaging. So the moment you walk in, you're greeted by name and that's how you're doing. And during student prep, you focus on setting personal goals to track process with personalized planners. So every single year, almost at the like straight beginning of the year, every student with the school, we get our own individual set of planners. And they have specific dates where you can write your own goals and you can check off your own list of everything that you just would like to do. And we focus on goals alongside our amazing pride standards. I'm pretty sure there's a photo in here and it'll show you every pride standard that Quest focuses on. Each day within student prep has its own individual theme. So on Monday, we call it Mindset Monday. So every single Monday, we get a quote from some good artists, and it's out of nowhere. It's amazing quotes from scattered all across. So we have some artists, we have some authors, we've had Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, and they're all just inspirational quotes where we can take that quote and we can think, how can I influence this to help me and the goals that I want? Tracker Tuesday, that's on Tuesdays, and it's focusing on, we have trackers and it focuses on, okay, and we'll go into this again. We have a lot of stuff, but we'll go into it even more. But our tracker, it shows us everything in general that we need, how we're doing so far, what we need to improve on. So it's like a good little extra boost of confidence and a big, big help to wanting to know. So last week I did really good on this, which means that there might be a little bit something bad. And if there is, you can focus, okay, I know that is something I struggled in. I'm gonna improve on it next week. On Wednesday, we have Work Together Wednesday. This is by far probably every single person's favorite day because Work Together Wednesday, most of the time, it's absolutely no electronics. And it's all social. And it's the goal is to have not only your teacher, but your students be able to collaborate and work together and just build this huge bond of like a friendship and just really make those connections with everyone. Accountability Thursday. So basically, this is where most of the time, this is where we could look at our planners after we made a goal and we could check, okay, how am I doing on this date? On this date, I said, I want to be done. Am I done with this? Or do I need a little more time? And if so, where can I fit that in so that it'll not only keep me on track, but it'll also help me? And that Reflection Friday, that's a good old day where you look back and you see absolutely everything you've accomplished, everything from good and everything from, okay, I need to improve on. A quote that we've all made that feels like most students usually say is, it feels like the school is centered around me, my growth, my goals, and my dreams. And that is absolutely the entire motto here with Quest, is we want to make sure that it's student based and that the student believes in themselves and that no matter what job or career they want, that they could achieve that with the help of teachers. These are our pride standards. So with P, we take personal responsibility. R, we use that for respect. I, integrity. D, discipline. And E, engagement. All right, and I'm gonna pass it on to my good old buddy, Ethan. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Ethan, and I will be talking about our core classes. So first, there's not a one-size-fits-all for learning. Students need to learn how to learn, not just what to learn. So in math, we're greeted at the door, of course. We're greeted with a warm welcome and a smile. We start off by making our goals and going over pacing dates. The teacher doesn't just stand in the front and lecture. You work self-paced on your personal pathway. You see all of the people around you working independently. There are pretests, and if you demonstrate understanding on them, you can skip needless review. If you get stuck, the teacher is always there to help you understand that concept, whatever it is. Here at Quest, the teachers would rather have you be engaged and learning than just compliant. If you don't reach mastery on a prove it, you meet one-on-one with the teacher and go over it. The teacher will make sure that you understand the standard, then they will give you another chance to reach mastery. One way that I've utilized self-pacing is finishing high school math. In 6th grade, I finished 6th and 7th grade math. In 7th grade, I finished 8th, 9th, and 10th grade math. I finished 11th grade math in 8th grade. This self-pacing allowed me to reach my full potential and grow. In science, we do what we call a do now. But first, this is a picture of all the early math finishers we had. We had so many people who finished math early and expanded their learning. Now, in science, we do what we call a do now. This is a few questions just to get your brain going and show the teacher where you're at in the learning process. On some days, there's what we call a mini lesson. In this, you choose how you want to learn new material. This is accomplished through what we call choice boards. No student learns the same, so there are different ways of learning, such as books, articles, and videos. We also do practices. You get to choose how you want to apply your knowledge. You can collaborate with others if you want and help each other to progress in the learning process. The teacher is always there for you to explain concepts if you ever feel stuck at all. Once you finish the mini lessons and practices, you take a mastery check. This shows if you are ready for the prove it. Then you take the prove it to demonstrate your understanding of the standard. Like other classes, if you do not reach mastery, you get a retake and the teacher goes over questions with you if needed. At the end of class, we take an exit ticket. They show proficiency and help the teacher know what you need as a student. So this is an example of our pacing in science. This shows exactly what we need to get done to stay on track, and it shows exactly what we're working on. More examples of choice boards where you get to choose how to learn. And this is a prove it choice board. So even on the prove it's, we have some voice and choice in how we want to prove our knowledge. So this is the blue box in the right hand corner they're all exit tickets. And they, like I said, they're how we show what we know so far and how the teacher can kind of gauge our knowledge. In ELA, we start off by doing 20 minutes of Reading Plus, which is a program that allows you to work on vocabulary and comprehension at your own level. If you finish this program, you get a Barnes & Noble gift card. We take pre-tests so we can assess our level of knowledge before we even start the standard. We typically do 3 practices and reflect about them on the rubric. These practices are not counted against you. You will conference with the teacher before the prove it, and when you take the prove it, you will either master it, or if you don't, the teacher's always there to give you a second chance.
Traditionally in classrooms, discussions are often teacher-led, where teachers will con students or use popsicle sticks. However, online digital discussions are a great way to ensure that all students have voice in the classroom. This creates a welcoming environment where all students can be engaged. This shifts the classroom from a teacher-led classroom to a student-led and student-centered classroom. In all, this creates independence, it builds social skills, and it also helps them master the concepts.
The number one thing I use in my classroom is the combination of feedback and conferencing with rubrics. This allows the student and the teacher to identify exactly where the child is at in the learning process. Rather than using points, we use conferencing and feedback so that the student can say exactly what they understand and what they still need to learn. In a classroom that is self-paced within the standard, this allows the teacher to still identify exactly where the child is at and what practice they should be working on. As a teacher with 100 students, I love knowing that I could confidently say where every student is at in the learning process and what practice they should be on that day.
I've now had experience teaching in traditional school settings and then also now personalized. And I love the personalized approach so much because of the connections that I get to make with my students. With traditional, when you give a student a 7 out of 10, that really has no meaning for the student. When they receive their paper back and they're looking at that, it doesn't tell them what they've mastered or what they still have to work on learning. Whereas with the personalized feedback approach, I get to have those individual discussions with every single one of my students. I love it because I get to see my students reflect on their own learning process. They're taking ownership of their learning, and I, as a teacher, get to guide them through that learning process. We're working together to achieve those goals. Overall, I think that's every teacher's dream. We want to meet each student at their level, and we want to help them all grow and ensure that they're all pushing themselves to the highest level possible.
Now we will hear from Izzy. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Izzy, and at Quest we've removed all points and we've switched to just okay. So we use rubrics, and it helps each student know exactly what's expected, and it's a roadmap to learning, and it helps us identify where we're at in the learning process and helps us be successful. Each category lets us know what we need. So before you take a Prove It, you have no surprises and you know exactly what to expect on the Prove It. This is our learning process: emerging, developing, mastering, and extending. We do practice, 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 prove. So in each class, you have 3 practices. The first practice is usually emerging. The next one is developing. The next one's mastery. And then once you feel confident on all the practices, you take the Prove It and show what you know. This is examples of some of our rubrics. This is another example. We also use trackers, which shows every student exactly what you've done, what you're doing, and what's coming up. So each student has a tracker, and every student, every teacher, and every parent has access to your tracker. And every morning during student prep, every student will look at them, and if they haven't showed mastery on something, they decide if they're going to go to after school tutoring or mastery minutes. But at the end of the day, mastery is everyone's goal. This is an example of our tracker. Each color coordinated box describes where you're at in the learning process. We also have a class called Mastery Minutes, and that's in the middle of every single day. And wherever you're struggling in any of your classes, or if you didn't have time to finish everything, you'll go to that class and get caught up or get reteach from your teacher. And if you're all caught up, then you can either go outside or explore or anything like that. This is our schedule for every day. Okay, now Ben's gonna talk.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm going to be talking about electives and enrichment. So at Quest Junior High, electives and enrichment are all about preparing us for real life, not just tests. We're learning skills we'll actually use, like how to manage money and financial literacy, speak confidently in public speaking, and even start a business in our marketing classes. We code in Python and JavaScript, use Adobe tools for graphic design and video editing, and build tech skills that matter in the real world. And for students ready for more of a challenge, we can take high school credits classes starting in 9th grade. Courses like art history, biology, chemistry, marine science, physics, US government, and more. These classes are self-paced, just like the rest of our learning, so we move forward when we're ready. It helps us build confidence and stay ahead as we prepare for high school and beyond. At Quest, we're not just learning, we're owning our future. Thank you. I turn the time over to Courtney.
Okay, hi, I'm Courtney, and I'm here to talk about the teacher-student personalized relationship. Administration and teachers know your name and your interests and your goals, which makes each student feel even more confident about asking your teacher questions or concerns. And you're not just a student, you're a partner in your learning. Every interaction is built on trust, support, and belief in your potential. Feedback and conferencing to provide us the support we need and help us to learn and grow. Student-centered classroom means the teacher is not in front of the room, the teacher meets one-on-one in small group with us, which definitely makes it easier to ask them questions instead of being embarrassed talking in front of the whole school. Then during performance reviews, I personally think this is like the best part about Quest because I get to have a say in my grade at the very end of the quarter instead of having a conflict between me and my teacher. Like we both get to agree on my end score. We celebrate mastery in all the classes because learning is the goal. We provide tours for schools across the country because we want all students to experience what we experience and have the potential to be like us.
My name is Brady. I'm in 6th grade, and I just finished 7th grade math.
My name is Mason. I'm in 6th grade, and I just finished 7th grade math.
So after every tour, we like to put a pin in like the certain like area where the person came to tour, just so we kind of like see like everyone we've been able to tell about Quest. Okay, now passing on to Hector.
Hi, I'm Hector. So, what really makes Quest different? So, what really makes Quest different is like our school culture, as in like a traditional school setting. Hallways and lobbies, they're usually quiet and formal. While at Quest, we have energy, music, positive vibes all day, every day in our halls. In the morning, at a traditional school, the bell would ring and you'd go to class. Well, at Quest, you're greeted by name and you get to go to your class with welcomes and smiles. In advisory, it'd just be a basic homeroom check-in. While for us, we have student prep with goal setting, daily themes, and teacher mentorship. While the class layout for a traditional school would be rows and desks with the teacher up front giving us a lecture. Here at Quest, we have our tables so we can collaborate with our peers, and our teacher can also help us do stuff one-on-one. And then we also have our learning approach. While at traditional school, it's the same method for all students. Here at Quest, we get to do you learn at your own pace and you learn the way you want to with our choice boards and our self-paced program. Now, with assessments at a traditional school setting, one test, one shot, you only get one try to pass it. While here at Quest, we use our mastery-based system to get multiple tries to earn that mastery or that extending. Now, for our grading systems at traditional schools, it's our points and percentages. While here at Quest, we focus on our emerging, developing, mastering, and potentially extending. Now, for feedback at a traditional school setting, you'll occasionally get feedback, or you'll get feedback after your grade, so post grade. Now, here at Quest, we conference on your way to mastery right before you prove it to know that you can get mastery, and we reflect on our way onto our prove it. And for our support time, they have limited at traditional schools, they have limited support time before and after school to help them get caught up or learn the concept. Well, here at Quest, we have our built-in mastery minutes to get caught up and get ahead in our school work. Now, for student voice at a traditional school, it's rarely considered or rarely heard. But here at Quest, we get to choose the way we learn and the way that we grow and the way that we get to track our growth because of that voice and choice that we have at our school. Now, for electives at traditional schools, they have limited options, while here at Quest, we get real world classes like coding, finance, business, and public speaking. And then finally, for relationships, we have our traditional school setting, which is formal, and you don't really get to make that deep connection with your teachers. While here at Quest, we get to make that deep connection with our teachers, and we have a personal connection with almost everyone you see in the halls. And now we're gonna say our why at Quest.
All right. So first, we just like to quickly say why at Quest is like our belief and reason. We can say it as a reason of why we believe in Quest and why we want to come here. So I'd like to start off. My why at Quest is the culture around this school. Of the again, the moment you walk in and when everything is going out great, and even if you feel like you had a bad day or it's just not rolling off and you're just confused, everyone's there to support you. Teachers, students, friends, administration, absolutely everyone, and they're all there to make sure that no matter what moment you're in or what emotion you're feeling, that they know we're with you, we support you, and we're here to help you, no one else but you.
Okay, so my why quest is the voice and choice you get at this school. I think it is truly important that each student has a different way of learning because no one learns differently. And I truly love and accept that we have the option to choose how we learn, how we practice, and how we prove.
One of the main reasons why I Quest is because of the self-paced learning. I love that I can move at my own pace, then do what I need to do, like in my own time. And just like the online electives that I was talking about, it's great that I can get like a little head start on the high school classes, so I know kind of what it feels like to start. So it's kind of like a good way to move from Quest into a high school. You kind of get what it feels like, and you also get to start working on more credits.
I Quest because every teacher cares about you and they all strive to make that one-on-one connection, not just a teacher-student relationship, but also a friendship. They make school really fun because they push you and they challenge you to achieve your goals, and they're really accepting of you and the person that you are.
One of the reasons that I love Quest is that it's a community of learning and growth. No matter where you are or what you need, the teacher will meet that need and let you soar or stay back with you if you're moving a little bit slower than everyone else.
Why I Quest is because you don't get that percent and just move on. You really get to learn the concept and know that you mastered it. And with the rubrics, it really helps me know where I'm at in the learning process and helps me know if I did master or if I need to keep working on my schoolwork.
Those are the wise Quest for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having us and thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Any questions for any of us? We're willing. We're all willing.
We have some questions prepared as well. But before we get there, do you mind if I ask you a few more questions and screen share myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Just come back. Okay, amazing. So now we'll do questions here. There are some questions in the chat. I don't know if you can read them, but I can read them out to you guys. The first question we have is, and I think you touched on this before, but is Quest actually that much fun?
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Others may think that it seems like it's way too fictional, as if it's like straight from a movie. But that's generally what Quest shoots for, is to make it seem like it's not realistic, but 100% is as fun as you can think, and it's only getting better from here.
Yes.
That's amazing. And a follow-up is, how do you feel at Quest because of the varying levels of independence when another student is ahead of you?
For me, sometimes I get a little competitive and I want to strive to be a little better than them. Like a couple years ago, me and my friend, we were competing on seeing who could finish 7th grade math first, and having that self choice and being able to move ahead. It was fun and competitive for my learning and mind. So I think it's fun.
And
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
sorry, everyone is celebrated. So after every time you finish your prove it, you ring the bell and everybody claps for you. And so everybody really is celebrated and pushed. And there's really not anyone in, I don't think in any of our classes that are like, I'm so much better than you, I'm so much farther ahead. Like everybody's like, good job, you're doing so good, you're excelling so far.
Anyone else want to answer, or should I go to the next question?
I think you can go to
think
the
you're
next
good.
question.
What helps you stay focused when you're working independently, when the teacher is not giving you step-by-step outlines or guidelines to doing something?
I think something that's important about Quest is that you want mastery. You don't just want to please the teacher. You want to expand your learning and be the best that you can be.
Yeah, and we use programs, digital programs to help us. So the teacher is technically on our computers. So even if we want to work out it outside of the building, our teachers are there not only to help us as well, but in and outside of the building. So it really works out with both ways of excelling your learning.
We use
Hmm.
a program called Google Classroom where the teachers.
Yeah.
They're able to post all of our assignments, help us know where we need to be with everything, and that's where we have practically all of our assignments. So it's a good way to organize, and that's helpful.
Yeah, and another thing that keeps us motivated, like I said, is the choice, because when you have that choice in your learning, I feel like that automatically sparks like a motivation in you, because you get to choose between like a game or like a book, just whichever way you want to learn. I think that helps motivate.
And if you were to imagine a high school that would adopt some of Quest Academy's principles, what would it look like in your eyes?
I think it'd be a fun learning environment for everyone. And I think there'd be a lot of more one-on-one teacher connections than
Mhm.
there is in a traditional school setting.
Mhm.
And I feel like having that voice and choice would help more kids feel more motivated about school and not like forced to be there.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like this is the type of school where I feel like I actually want to learn something. It's not really about just getting it done on time. I actually want to make sure that that I'm finished with this and I know what it actually is. So I think that will give a lot of students motivation.
Yeah, because that would really help because again, with our whole thing, we took out all points and we just based off of our developing and mastering. So if that would actually happen in high school, overall, that'd mean that's more students and more teachers that are willing to teach so that you don't just focus on, oh my gosh, I got a 7 out of 10, or oh my goodness, I failed this test. It's more, this is what I need to work on if I want to achieve this goal. So if high school could be more like that, it'd honestly be absolutely amazing.
Hmm. And like, do you think goal setting is always optimal? Like, should you always have goals? Or this is maybe a hard question, but like, is there ever a time when you like shouldn't have a goal and should just be exploring and learning for learning's sake?
Well, I think it's good to have a long-term goal or like short-term goals. But like another thing with our goal setting is just like making to-do lists. And Miss Law always has told us that there's like something about crossing that thing off of your to-do list that like gives you like a good feeling. So I think that's something else that helps us with our goal setting is our to-do list that we make while we're making our goals.
Yeah, I think it's important to explore and do that, but I think that you can still explore while having goals in mind, as long as you just take it in the right path.
And then finally, I think our last question for now is, what would you tell a teacher and or administrator who hasn't used personalized learning yet? And how would you convince them to put that into their school?
It's not just about scores here. A lot of schools just about scores, but here I would tell them it's so much more than scores. School isn't so you look good. School is for you to learn and grow and develop relationships. And I feel like that's really what we do at Quest.
Yeah, and to honestly summarize that up, when I think about the school, it's only a couple of words, which is awesome. And I think it's not speed for quantity, it's we want quality so that no matter how long it takes, you actually get to where you need. So it's quantity over speed. And
Hmm,
yeah,
And I
that
think
makes sense.
Go ahead.
I think having that relationship with your teacher and feeling comfortable to ask them questions is really helpful, because not having a teacher in front of the room can be a little challenging because you're just by yourself doing it independently. And so if you don't have a relationship with your teacher and you don't feel comfortable asking them questions, that could get really challenging.
And do you think Quest Academy is preparing you for like time beyond high school, beyond if you choose to go to college, like beyond like your 20s, 30s? And if so, what are the elements that like you think you're taking away the most from your experience that'll propel you into the future?
I think like some of the things that Quest would be teaching us is like having that independence and like that personal responsibility because of that choice in self pacing. You know, like what you have to get done. And then our goal setting also helps us, because then in the future in college, you'll be able to like set your goals, set your to-do lists. So that way it's like less stressful. And I think that's something that a lot of people take away from Quest.
Yeah, like I was explaining about the electives and enrichment. I was talking about how we have a bunch of different classes that are meant to prepare us for life ahead of Quest. Like the public speaking, that's a huge thing. That's going to happen all throughout your life. So we have those classes for a reason. Like financial literacy, you don't really see that in traditional school. In junior high, you're not going to see a student really have financial literacy, as far as I know. But it's really, really, really helpful to make financial decisions in your life, because that's a huge thing. So
It's a great point. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you.
So first, I want to thank School AI for sponsoring. I also want to thank all of you, Quest Academy, and all of you students. Is there any mentor who supported you or helped you in this process that you want to thank?
Yeah.
Miss
Miss
Law.
Law.
Miss
Miss
Law.
Law, Mr.
100%.
Miss Law.
Let's give her a round of applause.
We like to shout out.
I'd also like to shout out Mr. Sven, because he was a
Yeah.
really big supporter for me during this year and last year too, and Miss Nelson as well.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Every student obviously is different with who I want to thank more, but I just, being student council myself, I may sound confident, but before then, like a long time ago, I was not confident, but it was Miss Law, Mr. Sven, and Miss Cook that absolutely showed me like you don't need to be afraid, you just gotta be yourself. So absolutely, I just have to give it to them because they made honestly my life a whole lot easier.
and thank you for taking this time to listen to us.
Thank you.
100%.
Hey,
Thank you.
this has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And on that note, we have a request for proposals for next year's summit, which we're hoping is going to be an even bigger event. And if you want to speak, if you want to have another opportunity to show the world how you deal with education and innovation in your environment, feel free to submit again for an RFP. And in addition, if you want to stay connected with Students for Innovation, you can do so in one of two ways. The first way is you can start a chapter at your school, and then you'll be connected with us. We'll give you resources, presentations, projects, and you'll be able to support us and work with us through monthly webinars. And finally, we're also actually looking for students to join the leadership team to do exactly what I'm doing right now and to speak with other students in schools across the country. And you all seem very, very interested and excited to speak about education. So if you would like to join and do what I'm doing right now, feel free to fill out the application form on our website, studentsforinnovation.org. And if you're an educator or if you know any educators, you can feel free to ask them to also recommend students and send them our way.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. So
And if you'll be at ISTE or AICD, Students for Innovation will be there as well. Sponsored by School AI. Thank you again to School AI for allowing us to fly out. And we'll be presenting on AI in the writing process, which should be an amazing opportunity. So once again, if you're at ISTE or AICD, we hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then for the rest of the week, we have a session at a session tomorrow and a session on Friday. We hope to see you there as well. So once again, thank you so much, Quest Academy, for having us. We really appreciated your presentation today, and thank you again.
100%.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See ya.